Hi, and welcome to NT 181 here at Herzing University Online. In this welcome video, I'm going to be covering a couple of very important topics. One will be the course layout here in Blackboard, and second will be some details that you need to know about NetLab. And I'm going to be kind of covering both of these topics at the same time because there are some components related to NetLab within the course in Blackboard as well. So if you're not familiar with this course layout, it is fairly new, so not all the courses have been changed over to this particular layout at this point, but what you see right here is the home page, and you can see the link for that here on the left hand side, and this is what you see when you're on the home page. Here's how you get to the announcements by clicking on More Announcements, and you can scroll through and see your instructor's announcements for the term. Okay, the second section that I want to highlight here is the Read Me First section. I want to point out, some of the key responsibilities here that you have in taking an online course as opposed to an NC course. As it states here, as a distance learner, you are in some ways more independent than your classroom counterparts. You are not bound in time and space for most aspects of learning. With this freedom also comes responsibility, especially regarding time management. This is not totally at your own pace because there are specific deadlines for activities and assessments. It can be tempting to procrastinate in completing the reading and assignments, but avoid that pitfall. You will be busy, possibly stretched in keeping up with the pace, and the situation will compound rapidly if you fall behind. If you do manage your time well, you'll find yourself easily keeping up and enjoying the insights and the knowledge that you gain. Okay, so make sure you read through all of this, but I did want to highlight that you need to be ready to put in the time. If you're going to be serious about going to school, you need to put in the time required. And the courses here at Herzing are 8-week courses, so they're at twice the pace, twice the speed as a normal 16-week college semester. So, but you're going to be doing the same amount of work in those 8 weeks. So keep that in mind. Okay, next we have the syllabus and info section, and here's where you'll find the course syllabus, which will contain a lot of the information you need, including a list of assignments. Discussion board, I won't go there. That's where your discussions are located. Now here's something extremely important here to point out. The submit assignments and assessments section. I'm going to click and go into there. First of all, you'll see there is a section here on NetLab. This contains a lot of the basic information that you need in order to get going in NetLab. Notice there are a couple of attachments here. You should probably open those and save those for future reference. Notice there's also a video here. This video is extremely important. It walks you through basically how to use NetLab. So make sure that you watch that video. Okay, and then as you scroll down through here, you're going to see your assignments for each unit. There's Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and so on. Okay, so this is where you're going to go to submit your assignments. But don't let this part confuse you. As you go down and you look through the units, these units have all the learning materials that you need throughout the week, but they also reference these items, assignments that are in the submit assignments and assessments section. So for instance, if we take a look at Unit 2, you're going to see basically the primary topic we're covering for the week. There's going to be a pacing guide that you should do your best to try to keep up with. Keeping up with this pacing guide will assure that you get your assignments completed on time. Okay, so it's going to have a suggestion for what you do each day of the week. And then as you scroll down, you'll see that the primary topic will be broken up into some smaller minor topics, and there you'll have some other resources. For instance, here you see a video. Okay, and here's the second topic for the week. third topic for the week, I notice here that there are videos that are not showing up in Chrome. I'll have to check on this later. Here you see the information about the discussion assignment. Again, this is just a reference is all it is. You actually have to go to the link on the left-hand side of the course to go into the discussions. Same thing here. This again, just a reference and just a reminder of your responses that are due throughout the week. And then this section here is referencing your Unit 2 assessment, which again you will have to go back up to the Submit Assignments Assessment section in order to actually work with that assignment and get any attachments or anything that you may need that goes along with that assignment. The next section I want to highlight here is the Quizzes and Tests section. You'll notice that you have a knowledge check for each unit in this course, so don't forget about that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Blackboard. Again, I want to highlight the fact that in the Submit Assignments and Assessment section, the very first part of that is probably 90% of the information that you need in order to understand what you're supposed to do in NetLab, and that includes this video here and log on and other information in writing here. Next, I just want to show you NetLab real quick. First off, if you have taken any of the routing and switching courses, any of the Cisco routing and switching courses, please understand that those courses use a different NetLab site. You cannot use the same URL that you used for those courses. Here's the correct URL for NetLab for NT181. You'll put in your username and password and you'll log in. Again, the initial login information is available in the Submit Assignment section in Blackboard. Okay, so the first time that you log in, if this is the first time that you have used NetLab, then you will be required to choose a new password. Okay, and then you may be prompted for email address, but I'm going to skip past all of this. It'll ask you to set your date and time settings so you can configure that how you want to. Of course, for us the first day of the week is Monday, but again, you can configure these settings how you want. Click on Submit. Okay, and of course you can go back and change those later. Okay, so once you've gone through that initial setup, you won't see that again. From now on, when you log into NetLab, this is what you're going to see. So you have two options here as far as reserving your lab time. You can click on the New Lab Reservation button, or you can go up to Schedule and click Schedule Lab for myself. Okay, so once you do this, at this point you have a choice as far as two types of lab environments that you want to go into. For any of the work in NT181, you can always choose, or you should always choose, Windows Server 2016. All of your labs will be completed in this environment. So you'll click here. Okay, notice the default time limit is 1 hour. You can click on the down arrow here and click Schedule Lab. And at this point, what you do is you come in and you choose a pod that you want to reserve for yourself, and you'll choose the day and the time. Okay, so if I'm wanting to reserve something for July 19th, I can click on the 19th, and I can come in here and click on the time that I want. For right now, I'm going to select something that's right now so that you can see how the whole process works. Okay, so I'm going to click right here below the red line. That assures me that I'll be given the time from the red line to the next line that you see. Okay, and that's what it's going to default to. Now if you want to change it, and most of the time I suggest that you do make a reservation for 2 hours, because most of the time that's how long it's going to take you to complete your assignments. You can click on the calendar icon here and you can change the amount of, the ending time of your lab. So in this instance I can choose, instead of the 11:30 that it defaulted to, I can choose 12:30. Okay, so in this instance, again, I picked a time period that had already started, so I'm left with the remainder of that plus the additional hour that I added. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Submit. Okay, it tells me the reservation's been scheduled. I'm going to click OK. Now once your reservation is active, which mine is because I selected a current time period, you will see the Enter Lab button show up. Prior to this, you will not see this lab button, Enter Lab button. Okay, so again, what you're looking at here is you're looking at information about your reservation, and when you're ready to enter the lab, you can just click on Enter Lab. Okay, and at this point it's going to initialize the pod, and once that comes up you will see the servers and whatever devices that you have to work with. I'm going to end this video here in just a minute. I'm not going to go any further in NetLab. For those details you need to go back to the Submit Assignments section in the course and watch this video here. This video will show you how to actually work with the servers and whatever devices in the NetLab environment. So make sure that you refer back to that video. And usually it only takes about a minute or so for a pod to initialize, and once it has initialized, you'll see again the devices that you're working with, and you can begin to go ahead and configure whatever it is you're required to configure for the lab. Again, from this point, be sure to refer back to the video in the NetLab instructions section in Blackboard. Thanks.